How was the drive?
Fine.
Wow, it's nice looking. All right, what are we going to do first?
Timing here. It's for science.
Sign it.
A3.
883. Here. Do you know if it had the first service? There's.
I don't make sure, but
I'll call Lucas.
and
Now, does this have
it's a huge.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, for him, very nice.
I was seeing if there was a charging port. But it's got a center stand. Nice.
Beautiful. No.
Wow. And to start it, is there a gear indicator on here?
No.
No.
The gear is here,
Okay.
but it's neutral now.
Neutral now.
And the first.
Okay.
Yes. Oh. Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
Juan.
Juan. Eric. Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Juan. Thank
Have
you.
a good weekend.
You too. That was easy. It also is upgraded with a Puig or Puig. I think that windshield's a little bit taller than the one that comes with the bike. And so it had Givi boxes on it. You know, I bought the Honda racks, I mean the side and the top, because I thought they were the nicest looking deal. And I'm not going to get side cases right away, but the Honda top rack is extended, and so you can just kind of throw something on there and strap it down. I'm going to take off the Givi racks and put on the Honda. So let's see it. The Pannier rack bolts down there. It bolts to the top case rack up here. It bolts to the license plate holder. And maybe it'll all come off as one deal if I unbolt the top case rack from under the seat, both sides, and then off the license plate. But this is sold as 3 pieces, so I'm hoping to get some money for it on eBay. The Pannier rack, the top case rack, and this plate is sold separate. I don't know if there's a model number on it, but monokey system. Okay. Let's try taking the pin out at the top of the back seat kickstand, peon seat kickstand, since it's easily accessible. The bottom end apparently hides in there somehow, and I think I fight with it. I just tried to take out these 3 nuts to get the peon seat off, but this one, it felt like the bolt was spinning with the nut, so that was a no-go. Okay, I got the seat held up, and that created a little more space. I'm going to take off these 4, the back peon seat grip, or whatever you call it. They are 13 millimeters. whoever did this installation to put a lock washer and a flat washer under the bolt, so that's good. Those 4 bolts are all the same length. Also 13 millimeter down at the license plate, but that needs a longer socket because the bolt won't let it seat on there. And the hex-headed bolt head, I'm not sure of the size yet, but I'll find out soon. Smaller than that. I don't have any thing here to go by. I'm just seeing what the number I'm supposed to be close to. Is that 5 millimeters? Yeah, 5 millimeter, and crescent wrench still adjusts to 13 millimeter. Now this is just a plastic trim that's got more mountings to it, but this and this piece is stuck in under it, but it does flex enough just to pull it out. Okay, we come back here to the back foot peg and get that bolt. I just tried to lift up on it and it wasn't moving at all. So I was able to lift it off all in one piece. See if this goes with it. Looks like it does, but I'll start putting on the Honda and get this off before I finish if it doesn't fit to anything. Also, this is not the same for 220 and before. They rebuilt the frame, or redesigned it, whatever, and rebuilt the motorcycle from the frame out. Anyway, long story short, 21 and 22 slightly different. And some people said they could fit it on the older bike, or vice versa, the older rack on the newer bike, but it messed you up when you went to do the Panniers. So I'm just sticking with the program. Okay, so that space, pretty sure is where the Pannier stay mounts. That's right above the tire under the fender. And this piece, still thinking that goes with the Givi racks, so I'll end up taking that off. Well, it's that thing about the instructions. I mean, of course, after you've done it a couple times, you know it as good as they do, but it should just be packaged separately and clearly. Now I use that little collar. That's not a socket. That's a little collar. There's 4 of those in the packaging. And there's big fatties. And then these 2 short screws and long screws. They call that the collar long, the big one, and the screw the long screw. So that's what you use with this Pannier stay. Alright, they say the 6 millimeter screw goes in that rubber thing that I just put on the end of the stay. Can't look through the viewer and see what I'm doing, but oh yeah, and I zoomed it in. So there's that one. Okay, that's the other side, and so that worked. Okay, there's not much to that step, but I just made it look like there was. There was 108 degrees heat index outside, so better take a break. Let's look at this. This is the instruction for the, no, I want to do the other one first, sorry. For the Pannier stays. First thing they tell you is the instructions are in the box. But that's not true. Number 1 is installation instructions. So I finally went to the website and printed it out. And it makes it a lot easier to read. It's a pain on the smartphone, and even on the laptop, it's easier just to have the paper with you if you're sitting down there next to the bike to work with. You can put in this plug here and this rubber piece here with this 6mm screw before you even go to put these on. Now this sleeve is what they call the long sleeve. It's the big, fat, heavy one. And this is what they call the long screw. And it has a pan head. It's not the long screw and short screws aren't that much different, but they are noticeably different. And so that's you saw how I put it on, and it's real simple. There's no other washers or anything in this setup. So here's the short sleeves and the short screws. Oops. And there's 4 of these short screws and 4 nuts that go with them. 4 short sleeves. These are the Pannier holders, and they screw onto the side of the rear rack. And you have to, I'm not sure if you have to yet. I'm still not sure if you already had the top box rack installed, if you'd have to take it off. But it's a lot easier. I mean, I hadn't installed it yet. You flip it over to get these nuts on the end of these screws. Otherwise, if the space is accessible with the top case rack on the bike, it's going to be a little more painful. But I'm going to determine that after I get it all assembled. I'll let you know. That was the one thing about buying the Pannier racks for me right now. I only want to get a top case right now. But if I do get Pannier's boxes in the future, I don't want to have to, as simple as it might be, I don't want to have to take off the top rack. So I just go ahead and get the Pannier racks, and they're there if I want to get the side cases later, or if I sell the bike, it's a selling feature. And for the new top case rack, there's the short bolt in the back and the long bolt in the front on both sides. So there still are a couple mystery parts. Number 3 is stopper rubber. Number 3 right there, and there's 4 of those, and I'll find out where they go eventually. And then you get a label. They're really serious about this label. It goes back here under the box somewhere. It probably says how much weight you're supposed to carry. And then there's number 6. There's 4 plugs. Where's number 6? Right there. Those are tiny little things. I've seen them. No idea where they go yet. Number 8 is flange collar bit. Yeah, you borrow 2 of those from the old hand grabs, and they send you 2 in the box. So I think they go under this hole, this hole, this hole, and this hole. The 4 mounting holes for the top case rack. That cooled it off a little bit. Get these out of the way now, so I, again, don't have as many parts laying around, but they apparently go here. That should have been pre-installed, and so they go into the box so it doesn't rattle. Let's see how hard those are going to be to push in. Yeah, they feel tough, so I'll put a little Vaseline or dish soap, whatever's handy, I imagine. See if it'll snap. Yep, that did it. These are left-hand and right-hand, so you can't really get them confused. And we'll go here. And this one you can put the sleeve on from the inside. And then put on this flange nut. Just to get it started. Okay. Now, one more. Now this one I think you put the sleeve on from the outside because you're limited room inside for getting the flange nut on. You futz with it a little bit. Okay, so no, it goes, sorry, it goes there, and this bolt goes there, and then you're gonna hold it with your fingers so it doesn't push through when you put the bolt through, and then the flange nut in this little space, and I'll show it to you in a second. Where the open end wrench or crescent wrench comes in handy again. The back one, got plenty of space. The front one goes in the cubby hole here. Okay, both sides for that. The borrowed grommets are a snug fit. And the ones they send you are loose, so I don't know if you set them inside there first, because they're not going to stay in the rack if you try and flip it right side up and set it down in there. Okay, now for the kickstand for the back seat. It goes right there on the new top case rack. Okay, let's see if we can set it down. On its mounting locations. This goes here, goes over the seat. And twist it in, and then get my seat holding rig. On top of it. Oh, it was running. Thought I turned it off. Okay, so you can slip the front of the rack under the edge of the front seat. And then, okay, there was one more thing. No, there's two more things. I got to get these grommets in there and this rubber piece comes through here. The other side no longer does anything. Thank you. So the grommets. I think I'm going to. Yeah, I think I'm going to set them in there. Let's see if I can get the grommet in there. Okay, enough of try a couple of drill bits to hold these in place. While I get it in there. There's one. Okay. And I just said I dropped the other one down in here. So that's when you need a magnet, but I'm not even sure where it is yet. No idea where it went. Okay, yes, on please. Okay. There were 4 on the old hand grabs, and I only needed 2 of them, so I have 2 extras. Alrighty then. That little rubber piece down there again, there it goes. So I still need to get 1 grommet in this corner underneath the top case rack. Okay, there it is. There it is. Lost another one. One more to go. That was bad that they didn't make the front grommets a snug fit, because this is just a nuisance. I should have just duct taped them on and then, okay, there was a space in there, so it stayed. All right, let me get the bolts. They were calling those little things flange collars. I forgot what I was calling. All 4 holes have them. Again, that's so when you tighten the bolt down, you're bearing down on metal instead of cracking the frame. And the 2 new ones, or the short ones, the same length difference about for the stays. First thing I put on, and these. Those were the long ones, and these were a little bit shorter. Between those 2, and between these 2, the back ones are a little bit shorter, and the front ones, which were borrowed off of the original hand grab, are a little bit longer. I borrowed the lock washers off of all 4 of the original hand grab bolts. All right, let me see if I can get those started. Okay, I've dropped no less than 5 little pieces of metal in there that I'm not going after, so I hope they don't come out in the chain later. I had an extension for this, 2 inches. I mean, I was using it, and gone, can't find it. And so I don't know if this flange collar, the small one, what I didn't check for the front here, if it was as tall as the other one, because that was the whole point, not to crush the metal. But I got one in there, so it's right here. So try not to be too harsh on it. All right, do some of that. Almost done. That's the difference in the look. It's not, doesn't have all that big square box frame that the Givi had. And oh yeah, that one more thing I was going to say. See if you did have to take off the top case rack, if you already had it on. The answer appears to be yes. Now those 2 pieces were 500, 219 and 3 something there, 500 from Partzilla, and that altogether was a little bit more than that, 3 pieces. When I looked online, I don't know where they bought it. So I have to take off these on both sides, and I'm not sure about this piece of steel. That might also come off and go with the Givi. But I like it better. That could have been. Okay. So that one that pulled out, I put the calipers on it, and it's 10 millimeters. And sorry about the focus. I'll go to the store tomorrow and get a deep socket. That must have been made that way, because this has a perfect hex-sided hole in it, same size as a 10-meter bolt, which has a little bit of a flange on it. And this one, which I did, get the socket and take it off from the other side, but I don't see how I pulled that through. I could not have pulled that nut through a hole like that. So anyway, that was made like that for some reason. But